Welcome to another episode of Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news and insights from Littlefield Agency.
It's good to be back, man. Well, we've taken almost a 2-week break, and
You've been gone, I've been gone, there's been a lot happening.
Something's been off in my life, and I just realized what it is. No podcast. It's nice to have you back. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to another edition of Little Talks with Littlefield Agency. Sam Littlefield and
Roop.
Cayman Roop.
Cayman Islands.
Hey, that's kind of a cool name, Cayman Roop.
Cayman Roop. I like it. There's a Cayman Jack. I think that's a drink.
It's a drink. Actually, funny, Chelsea texted me about Cayman Jack the other day. She said, should I buy this? I was like, not your cup of tea.
She didn't know.
Long story.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's another podcast.
Okay, dude. Yeah. So first off, we were looking at ourselves on the big screen. You look great, buddy. You're tan.
Thank you.
You feel no wrinkles, very relaxed.
I'm probably a little flushed from our activities this morning as well, but I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, flushed.
We'll talk about that.
Wait on that a little bit. Tell us about the vacation.
It was great. I didn't launder any money. I'll get to that immediately. There's no money laundered.
There you go, IRS. He's good. He's in the clear.
Unless you take the money the Caymans stole from me.
Did you gamble?
No, I didn't see any gambling anywhere.
Okay.
It's a pretty straight-laced country.
Okay.
Honestly. There's stuff I don't want to talk about on the mics that they have banned.
Oh, nice.
Kind of weird.
Oh, Brandon's getting nervous. He's pacing back there.
Yeah, he's got his hand on the edit button. But no, it was great. We had great to be out of the office, in a way, and it rained a lot, but we still had, good fun. And
so down there, it's a quick shower in, sunshine.
Normally.
Shower.
Normally. This was a tropical depression. And so we actually missed our whole first day that we would have been there on Saturday because they diverted us to Jamaica, and then we got in late that night. It was a whole deal, but in the end, it was fun. We had
like you said, it beats the office. You got a couple massages, right? You got actual, not a couples massage.
No, we did get couples massages. My wife and I.
Twice.
2 couples massages,
wow.
90 minutes.
Well, no wonder you're so damn relaxed.
Yeah, and then I came back Monday and immediately had a massage. That morning.
That's right. And that's a perfect transition. Yeah. Welcome to Wellness Week at Littlefield Agency. This is our 3rd year.
It's like the
4th year.
Maybe 4th. I think it's the 2nd one I've been allowed to be part of.
So this is, actually it was supposed to be last week, and luckily we had a great shoot in Iowa with Ditch Witch, and so we had a bunch of people out, so we postponed it to this week. Wellness Week is everybody's favorite week of the year minus Christmas break, I think.
Yes.
Claude, you're about to, I guess this is your first Wellness Week, Tatum's first Wellness Week. Mental wellness is a super important thing, and so we focus on mental health, emotional health. You could almost say spiritual, right? There's a spiritual component to this.
I think so.
Emotional, all the above. Julie Evans started this. It's amazing. So we started off, today is Tuesday, so yesterday was Mini Massage Monday, with snacks from Ediblend and Killer Squirrel Bar, so nice and healthy snacks. Strawberries, that was lovely.
Yeah, it was great. I will say this about mini massages. I frequently want to get 2 sessions in, and this year they were all booked.
They were all booked. We got a packed house.
But somebody pointed out to me that Chelsea did get 2.
No way.
Yes.
I saw
it was
her in
me.
One. What?
Oh,
I saw it on the refrigerator.
You are freaking kidding me.
She does it every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to feel bad next year. I'm just going to do it.
So many massages yesterday. We were at Iron Gate, which is kind of a food pantry this morning, which is really nice. Just out of the office, 2 hours. Good community kind of team building event. Tomorrow we have Walk to Double Shot.
Yeah,
coffee shop nearby. We love Double Shop at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh no! You know what I did?
What'd you do?
I didn't put in for an iced coffee. I put in
Change
for
order.
coffee.
It's not too late.
Okay.
No, good. Honestly, you should tell.
I remember last year it was like 100 degrees out, and I was like,
I made that mistake too.
Yeah.
I went iced coffee this year.
Okay.
We have a step challenge throughout the week, 35,000 steps we're shortening it this week because Julie Evans is out of town and she runs everything. So 35,000 steps by 1 p.m. on Thursday, you're entered in for a raffle drawing of $100. So ladies, make sure you get those steps in. And then we wrap the week at Thursday happy hour. So there's, what do you call that? That's emotional, mental, all the good wellness there.
That's everything.
So anyway, Wellness Week, it's awesome. Just always good to be mindful, and it's been a good morning. So the last thing we have to recap before we get into our one and our only wonderful topic, the interns have been awesome. We got Tatum in the room with us today, and Karina and Lauren have been great. Great energy, already a couple weeks in, doing some great things. Tatum's working on some personas, which is really fun to collaborate with Claudia and myself and you on that. I think you've enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
You've really enjoyed it last week, right?
It was perfect.
That's all
I
you were
was
thinking
gone
about
and
down
never
on the
getting it all
Caymans.
done, yeah.
All right, we have one topic today. We don't want you to judge us on this because you're like, dude, this is old news. Well, we haven't seen each other in a couple of weeks. So we think it's still, Roop and I actually had a discussion about this yesterday. It's very important that we discuss our one topic, the secrets of the algorithm. Google searches big leak.
Yeah.
Please don't roll your eyes.
Yeah, and before we get into this, we did send out, if you don't sign up and are not subscribed to Little Bits.
Yep, little bits.
Our weekly now email that goes out on Mondays. Please go to the website, littlefieldagency.com, and you can sign up for that in the bottom. Just a little field, you enter your email and you're done. That goes out. And we did talk about this the week it happened.
Yep.
But I was out, you were out, we were in the middle of a Vanderpump marathon. There was a lot happening. So
got a lot of good feedback on that, by the way. It kills me, but it's the truth.
it was well received by the people. But anyhow.
Yeah, kick it off, Roop.
We wanted to do this one sooner, and this is the fastest we could do it.
Yeah. And like I said, for those, if you're not signed up for Little Bits, most of you listening should be. That is your timely email, and we usually talk about it right after. So, Roop, were all telltale secrets released with this leak?
No, and let's talk about what the leak was real quick.
Cool.
Real quick. So I saw this. It was a Saturday, and Philip, our developer, started sending me texts, and he's like, "Hey, the Google algorithm has leaked." I said, "Dude, you're getting punked. This comes up all the time. It's not a thing."
I love that Philip's so on top of it.
5 minutes later, he goes, "No, I'm pretty sure it's real." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not. Anyhow, this goes on for an hour, and he convinces me that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's been leaked. Well, he was ahead of the game because I saw that headline the next day. And what happened was it had been sitting on a code depository for GitHub. I think it was GitHub.
Okay.
Had been sitting on code depository since like March. So it had been exposed to the world for quite a while. I don't remember or recall if it was someone intentionally leaked it or was accidental. I think it was accidental, which is a big accident. But basically, it was the complete formula to how Google's search algorithm works. The thing that we always say, there's 200 factors and we know 12 of them. We saw all 200 now. And so we thought today we would go over what we write about, what was kind of news to us, and what it really means in the bigger picture.
And when you think about this, like let's talk about, we won't name all 12, but let's just kind of think through, right? So in the last 10 years, in the sense of keywords, right?
Yeah.
Very much long and lengthy blog articles and posts. We think about the inner workings of backlinks, right?
Yeah.
We think through your social strategy and how that's linking back to your website. Like there's so many. That's a very, very, very high level, quick example. Are we going to get into the 200 today?
No.
But I think you lead us off, Roop, with just a couple of. We've got 15 bullet points here.
Yeah.
Let's hit our favorite 5 to 7. Because there's some really interesting. Some of these are kind of nitpicky, but they're good. It's interesting. And then some are just good in the sense of theoretically, what are you doing as a brand for your ongoing SEO strategies? So Roop, take it away.
And before I hit those, one last bit. The algorithm was leaked, but this doesn't mean all of a sudden we have all the answers.
Correct.
So don't call asking to be on the front page for the site.
Hey, we're not seeing ourselves as number one.
Yeah, why didn't you? That didn't happen in an hour. You know everything now. No, it doesn't quite work that way, but we do know some of the things that go into it.
So in looking at this list, you say brand authority is in all caps, as large as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Huge.
So brand authority is, if you think about someone like Nike or our client Ditch Witch, that name just, you know what that is. There's no question about it. And if I tried to start a shoe store called NikeUseshoes.com and I sold Nikes on it, normally you'd say, well, SEO-wise, you're putting a lot of Nike stuff in there, so you should show up pretty high. But in reality, I'm not Nike.com because Nike has the brand authority.
For sure.
Google knows
and
who
Google
the brands
recognizes
are.
that.
Yeah. And they've got enough history. They understand all that stuff. So brand authority being a big factor there means that's why you're always seeing some of this Apples, Nikes, Walmarts, Targets. That's why you see a lot of those guys show up higher in rankings because they're big. And so like we knew it was big, but it was actually maybe bigger than we thought. And that was another thing. Some of these things were not as important as Google had led us to believe, and others are more important.
It's okay, perfect. Backlinks are a pretty low signal now.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me because, I mean, there was a partner we worked with a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. They were the backlink kings. That's all they preached.
The backlink pirates.
Dude, we
They're out there.
I mean, we would backlink like 7 different things in one article. And it's like, no, this is the key. Like, again, this is what they thought was the secret sauce. And they had obviously found success there, but it was death by backlinks.
It's still a signal, but it's not as important. It's a lower signal than I think we had thought. I had believed this personally for quite a while because I thought, That's a lot. Backlinking is a lot of work, and there's always people that go elsewhere. And after a while, you start realizing that's kind of gaming the system in a way.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, when I read an article, this is peace of mind for me. When I read an article and there's 5,000 blue links in that article, it's like, dude, no, I don't want to click.
It's overkill.
It is overkill.
So those are the kind of things where it probably was pretty important at one point, but because of 5,000 blue links and just the world moving on, that became less important. So less of a factor now.
Okay, now one of my favorite. Font size matters. Give us
this was news. This was news to me. So font size matters, with 16 pixels being the sweet spot. And I think the default for most like Word and Pages and most writing tools is like 12. But for font size, 16 pixels apparently the sweet spot. But I'll tell you why this mattered, and it had never been on my radar, other than we know that for readability on mobile, 14 plus is kind of where you need to be for smaller text. Headlines and things can be whatever, but like the smaller text, it had always been 14 plus. Now they're saying 16 is actually the sweeter spot. So you start looking at your mobile fonts now and saying, are we at 16? Are we still holding back at 12? If you're looking for a little edge, that could be one.
Nice. Love that. One thing that I really enjoyed, short content is scored for originality. As Roop and I were talking through this, and there's no knock on long form content, but we do realize where the world is today. How are we digesting content? Am I reading ebooks and white papers? Not like I was 10 years ago. I mean, rarely. It's got to be really freaking interesting content.
Yeah.
So thinking about your short content form, short content in the forms in the sense of video, and we think about our YouTube strategy paired with our website strategy. We are producing short form content all the time at the agency on behalf of our clients. This podcast, there's always Claude does a great job with about a 500 to 750 keyword filled rich post. But we want to flip it on its head, because short form content, any content is good content, but it's an important piece per this leaked SEO strategy.
When I read this one, it made me think this was answering the question of how important are social posts in the search algorithm.
Yeah.
Because most social platforms have their own search ability to go through posts and things. And kind of infamously, when Twitter started hitting, it just flooded Google's homepage. Anything you typed in was a Twitter response. They kind of had to figure that out and mess with it. But as more and more socials become the second part of the internet, but I mean, it is the internet.
It is the internet.
No one's writing 1,200 word posts, nor are they encouraged to. So like, it makes sense they would start looking at original short form content. And I really do feel like that's probably leaning towards some social signals that we're still looking at.
Well, and I look at it, let's look at the last 5 to 7 years and just all the different things that I've read, the different things that we've tried. And we always say this in such a buzz thing, but it's the truth. Web presence, right? Your overall web presence. We have some people that will come to us, hey, we just need you in an ABM matter, right? So all things inbound. Great. That's a wonderful piece of the pie, but that's not the answer to all of your needs. What's your paid media strategy mixed with your ABM strategy and your social, like all the above, and that's what creates these nice synergies here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't focus on any one thing here, obviously, and you can't focus on everything. There's going to be times where you're like, well, I just really need this font has to be 18. I don't know, making that up, or it has to be whatever. That's okay. One thing won't kill you. Just make sure you're not completely ignoring everything going on here.
For sure.
So
one thing that I found interesting, page title tags are still measured against search queries.
Yeah.
Great reminder.
Yeah, page titles I harp on that quite a bit. It's an easy one to forget, but it's really important.
Would you explain that a little bit, just in the sense of, especially when we work with our clients and we go into the, unlock the back door and see what's going on, and guess under the hood. Page
titles are not headlines.
Yep.
As you might confuse them. Page titles are the words that show up in the browser tab. So if you've tabbed up a bunch of browser windows,
hover over it,
and you can hover over it, or maybe you can see it if it's there. There's some words in there, and I think it's 72, 63, something like that, characters in there that you can use. Those are really, really rich, fertile SEO words. So you want to put like what you sell, where you're located, things like this. What's happening? Freaking interns.
I'm so sorry.
Are they laughing at me?
So immature.
No, I love the way you phrase that. It's amazing.
Anyhow, so title tags are we've always known those are a big deal, and where they actually get used in the algorithm is against the direct query. So whatever words people are typing in, they have a really high match factor, I guess, with page titles.
So let's give you an example, but let's just use ourselves for an example. If you're on our homepage, right, littlefieldAgency.com, and it just says homepage advertising, right? And by the way, there's no joke. We've seen things like this.
Most say home.
Where if you, let me pull this up actually, because this will be a good, put Roop on the spot here, but I know he's correct because I look at this all the time. Littlefield Agency, B2B marketing, advertising, media, and analytics. Holy rich keywords.
I need to drop one of those and get inbound in there.
Very fertile.
Very fertile keywords there.
Yes. Claudia, you and I are having a talk after this.
I love it. But we see a lot of people. We see a lot of very established brands that are doing tens of millions or $100 million plus worth of revenue each year. And they're not paying attention to this. And it's a minor detail. It's a very minor detail.
Really small, but really important.
But that's it's a great reminder for us. Just because, and we're always looking at those things, right? Mm-hmm. Things evolve and iterate, and that's part of the constant evolution. Anything else you want to hit on, Rip?
The Chrome browser.
Yeah. Yes.
This is something I've always thought about. Anything in the Google world. YouTube's always going to rank higher than other video platforms because Google owns them, right? That kind of thing. So the Chrome browser is a big source of overall data and signals. So it doesn't mean they're not getting things from, say, Safari or Firefox or whatever else people are using now, but they own Chrome, so they can totally they can follow you around, see if that what you clicked, what you searched, if it was relevant to you. They know more from it.
Well, and this is crazy. I just Googled this. Chrome is used by 3.45 billion with a B internet users. Yeah. That is up from 2.74 billion in 2019. So 5 years later, almost 1 billion more users are on Chrome. That's wild. How many people are in the world? 7 billion?
I think it's somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's almost half the world population. Yeah. It basically is.
And, the Chrome browser on mobile, if you're using Android, is your browser there too.
Chrome has a worldwide browser market share of 64%.
There it is. And, it doesn't mean they're not getting signals from others, but as Apple in particular continues to kind of push their privacy and user security initiatives, which we're going to talk about in a future podcast as it relates to email, that makes sense. Chrome's like, well, if they're going to shut us down, we're just going to leverage the tools that we have under our house, which they're doing.
Yeah. Hey, there's one more that I'd like to hit on if that's okay, and then we'll kind of wrap here. Dates are important. That's very simple. But for every website that we launch, and we've launched a lot of websites in the last 5 to 10 years. So many. What percentage would you put? And usually they're project clients. 70% of project clients that we launch a website for usually don't have an ongoing content strategy.
Yeah.
And that's why we're hitting on dates are important. They are looking for fresh content on the daily.
Yes. So I would say dates are important in two ways here. They're important in terms of if you're running a blog or ongoing content that you're publishing regularly, which we talk about a lot. And regularly doesn't have to be every day or even multiple times a week. If you can get something out every other week, you're probably okay. They just want to know the site's being paid attention to and someone's still keeping the lights on, right? But
if my wife's listening, Tara, if you're listening, you need to listen to this.
It's
so important.
Going.
Yeah.
The other date they look at would be changes to the code. So if there's something being added to a page or it's being updated in some way other than content being published, they're also looking at those dates as well, I believe, as a signal towards scraping that page or giving it some higher ranking in their algorithm.
Totally. No, it's a great one. These are great, Roop. And this is, like I said, did we open Pandora's box today? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. And if you really want to dive into these, we sent out a little bits about this a few weeks ago. If you didn't get that, let us know. We can resend that to you.
Absolutely. Okay. That is a wrap for this week's episode. It's good to be back, man. Seriously. This energizes me. I love it. I love having Tatum and Claude here.
I thought I did, but I don't know now.
Hey,
come on. On that note, we'll wrap. We'll see you next week. For those that are not as part of the agency, be well this week and focus on some good mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all the good wellness. That's what we're focused here on this week.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. We hope you've enjoyed our little chat and found ways to grow your own marketing strategies. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media @Littlefield Agency.